Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our Canfield Village Middle School 7th and 8th grade holiday concert. The group before you is the 7th grade band, and I just want to tell you guys how much improvement these guys have made so far this school year. It's been tremendous. We did a Halloween concert on October 31st, and even those first couple months of school, they made huge improvement. But from Halloween to now has been amazing. As you will hear this evening, the sound of the band is really coming along. They sound much more mature than a 7th grade band. Some really nice sounds coming out of the kids, and I attribute that to a lot of their home practicing that's going on. So it's been a really fun time working with these guys. They made a great progress. I can't wait till we get to the pasta dinner concert and hear how much more improvement we make after we get back to school in January. We're going to begin tonight's concert with the 7th grade band. It's a Gene Milford arrangement of a tune called Santa Medley. And in this medley, you will hear Jingle Bells, Up on the Housetop, Oh Christmas Tree, and Jolly Old St. Nick. The next piece we're going to perform is another tune by an Ohio composer from the Columbus area, Mr. James Swearingen. This one is entitled Holiday Cheers, and this medley will include Ding Dong Merrily on High, Up on the Housetop once again, and We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Our next piece is going to be conducted by our student teacher. And I just want to tell you a little bit about her in case some of you maybe were at last night's concert. You may have heard this already, but if you weren't, our student teacher is Miss Haley. She's a really fine clarinet player from the University of Akron. She is a high school graduate from Canton South, who we used to play many years ago in football. We would play Canton South for about a 5 or 6 year period there. So in fact, when she was in high school, that's when we were still playing Canton South in football. So she traveled here a couple times. We went over to Canton South. She's been working with our kids in grades 9 through 12 with our high school band, actually starting way back last week of July is when she started her student teaching experience. And it's finally coming to an end this Saturday when she graduates from the University of Akron with her degree in music education. She's done a wonderful job working with our middle school kids. The kids have loved working with her. She's worked with pretty much every section, did a lot of sectional work, especially in the lower grades in 5 and 6, and then a lot of full band work in 7 and 8. And she's going to be conducting a great tune entitled Feliz Navidad. Would you please welcome Miss Haley to the podium? All right, the next piece is going to be a really cool piece. It has a rock beat to it, and it's a Quincy Hilliard piece. I met Quincy probably 20 years or so ago. He's a great composer from down in Louisiana, and this tune is entitled Santa's Soulmate. How about an extra round of applause for the sleigh bell soloists up front? Before we play our last selection, I just want to announce that this is for the 7th grade parents for being really patient as we work through the Music First program. I know that some of you are having great success with it. Everything is working just fine, and your kids are recording, and you seem to be getting through the program just A-OK. Others are having some difficulty perhaps trying to use it on an iPad or an iPhone, or even some other issues with desktops or what have you. So I've been in contact with the Music First people. We're trying to work through some of those bugs, but I just want to make sure that that you continue to be patient as we work through any issues that you might have. As you know from my emails that you receive occasionally, 7th and 8th grade parents, well, and especially 7th grade parents, when we first rolled out the Music First program, that was what we were calling our preseason, which was kind of during the whole first 9-week grading period. And now that we're into the second 9-week grading period, there have been some assignments that are being posted, and those grades and those recordings are counting and stuff towards their 9-week grade and so forth. So please make sure your child is checking the Music First calendar occasionally. Usually the assignments are at least 2 weeks spread out, sometimes more than that, so they have ample time to practice and get ready for that. Before we go any further with our last selection, I would like to recognize 2 students in the 7th grade band who were part of our District 5 OMEA Junior High Honors Band. The Ohio Music Educators Association conducts an honors band each fall. District 5 are schools that are in Ashtabula, Trumbull, and Mahoning counties. So there was roughly 30-some middle schools being represented. And on November 18th, these students participated in an honors band, and they got to play a really nice concert at Stambaugh Auditorium, which is a great venue to play in. It's a gorgeous hall, great acoustics, and it was just a great day for the kids. And I'm going to call off the 2 students. If you would please stand so we can recognize your accomplishment. Julia Stratton and Gabby Smallwood. And the 7th grade band is going to close their portion of the concert with a nice John O'Reilly arrangement. It's called 2 Holiday Classics. And the 2 classics that you'll be hearing are Dance of the Reed Pipes from Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker and the infamous Hallelujah Chorus from Handel's Messiah. Okay, we're going to proceed with the 8th grade band portion of the concert, and just a little bit about the 8th grade band, because they've had a very, very special fall and a very special 8th grade year thus far. It started off with our 8th grade football night on September the 22nd, where the kids came up on that Friday. We're very fortunate, Mr. Rubin, Mr. Flood, they allow us to take the kids out of school for about an hour and a half. We bus them up here. They get to practice with the high school marching band. The Canfield band parents feed the kids lunch. And it's a great time. They get to mingle with the high school kids. It's an awesome day. And then later that evening, they come back and get to perform with the Cardinal Pride Marching Band at the varsity football games. That was really, really cool. And then just this past Saturday, on December the 2nd, we had a great opportunity for this 8th grade band to perform along with our high school symphonic band at the 46th Annual Ohio Band Directors Conference, which took place on the campus of the University of Akron. It's a very prestigious event. We were the one middle school band who was invited, and there were two high school bands invited to play at this event. Anthony Wayne High School, which is on the western part of the state, and then our very own Canfield High School Symphonic Band. So it was a great honor, a great invitation to have these kids play there. And they worked extremely hard from after that football game on September 22nd. We worked throughout the month of October and November to get this program ready. And there are some really challenging pieces on the program, as you will hear this evening. And then, of course, we had the wonderful Thanksgiving week off in there, which really amounted to 9 days. So when we came back from Thanksgiving break, after that 9-day break, we had Monday through Friday, 5 days, to get the kids back in shape and get them ready for the OBDC performance. Those parents who are in attendance this evening, who were able to make it over to Akron last Saturday and the 2nd, I'm sure you heard an outstanding performance. You're as proud of these kids as I am. It was a great, great performance. And on top of it, the whole cool thing was on Thursday, Richard Saucedo, who's a very well-known band composer of junior high music and high school music and professional band music, he came to Canfield Middle School and rehearsed with the kids right during their band period. We're playing one of his pieces later this evening that you'll hear. And it was so cool because the kids got to work with a composer who he wrote his music, and he's teaching it to these guys and interpreting it to them what he had envisioned and what he heard in his head when he composed that piece of music. So they were very thrilled and excited to work with him. And it's just been a great, great fall. Tonight's going to be an outstanding performance, and like I say, I just can't wait for like the 7th graders to see these 8th graders keep progressing throughout the remainder of the year. One other cool thing we did today with both 7th and 8th grade band I thought was really cool. I sent out an email last night asking them to wear their black T-shirts that they wore at the September 22nd football game, and these guys wore the white T-shirts that were given to us through a company that gives us a product each year. This year it just happened to be T-shirts. And so yesterday I asked the kids to take out their phones and look up what esprit de corps means. And the bands, they had their phones with them. Somebody read us the definition of esprit de corps. We discussed that in band, what's that all about. And I was hoping that they would wear their shirts today. And once you know it, we had a very high percentage, well above 90% in both bands, of the kids wearing their T-shirts. And so that culture of that it's okay to be in band, it's a cool thing to do, that these kids sitting on stage and the 7th graders who just played, that they realize that they're walking around with a special talent that not every kid in Canfield Middle School has. And that is that they play a musical instrument. Sure, we have kids that might play violin or piano or guitar or what have you, but to play in a band instrument and be in the school band is a really, really cool thing. Now, breaking through that barrier in middle school, we all know is tough. And last year's 8th grade class kind of turned the corner of changing that culture, I think. And now these guys have continued it really, really well. They are buying into it hook, line, and sinker. And I'm hoping that we've turned the corner here with some things. And just that whole pride of being part of a great organization that is worthwhile, I think is awesome, both the 7th grade band and 8th grade band. And last night, our 5th and 6th grade band, too. So I would like for your parents, if you guys would help me applauding for the 7th and 8th grade band in what these kids are accomplishing thus far this year. It's been fantastic. We're going to play all the numbers that we played at OBDC, and the other cool thing that we got to do was after coming back, we learned 2 Christmas carols this week. which was kind of neat, that we're able to throw in some Christmas music, and we did it in 5 rehearsals. So we're going to begin with a David Schaefer. Oops, I can't announce that because Nolan's going to do that. All right, Nolan, we're ready for you. I have student announcers who are going to introduce all the pieces. I almost stole Nolan's thunder.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nolan Williard, and I play the trumpet. Our first selection in tonight's concert is The Invincible Warrior, written and composed by David Schaefer. David is a band director at Miami of Ohio University. This song can really spark your imagination. I always imagined it as a trip through the woods being chased by something unknown. I hope you enjoy The Invincible Warrior.
You know, they say the most difficult thing to do is public speaking, so I think every time we get a speaker this evening, they all deserve a round of applause, because that's nerve-wracking to get up in front of an auditorium full of people and do public speaking, so thank you.
Good evening. My name is Julia Sansatera, and I play the oboe. The next song you'll hear has a peppy, upbeat tempo. It was a struggle for everyone to transition from short, detached staccato notes to full-length legato notes in some parts of the piece. It became a habit, especially for me, to play the longer notes as quick, short notes, and the rapid high to low note changes in this piece were an additional challenge for me, pushing me in new directions musically. Though we have all had our individual struggles with this piece, we have all thoroughly enjoyed learning this wonderful march. We hope you enjoy Prince of Wales March by Len Orsino.
So as I mentioned, we were able to learn a couple Christmas tunes this week. Miss Haley's going to come back out to conduct the next number, and this is kind of a neat little tune. There are 21 different Christmas carols in this medley. They go by real quick. I'm going to name them off to you, and you see if you can recognize each of these melodies as they appear. Deck the Halls, Jingle Bells, first just the verse, Jolly Old St. Nicholas, Hark the Herald, Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, O Come Emmanuel, The 12 Days of Christmas, O Come All Ye Faithful, Patapan, O Little Town of Bethlehem, Joy to the World, Away in a Manger, O Christmas Tree, Silent Night, Good King Wenceslas, Alleluia Chorus, Up on the Housetop, Angels We Have Heard on High, We Wish You a Merry Christmas, and the Jingle Bells Chorus. So see if you can recognize 21 of these carols. You can keep count on your hands and your toes. Please welcome Miss Haley back to the podium for a carol countdown.
Good evening. My name is Lori Franklin. I play tuba. Today, I'll be introducing to you a song that we had the honor of performing in front of the magnificent guest composer, Richard Saucedo. This piece creates magical melodies, packing on the emotion. Our band has worked hard to perfect our dynamics, ensemble, and tone qualities, and with all of that hard work, it's paid off ever so greatly in the end. Now, it's time for our band to gladly present to you the Lullaby in the Mirror.
Hello and good evening. My name is Ben Pugh. From the first time we played this piece until we performed it at the OBDC concert, it's been electrifying as a lightning bolt and as mysterious as the Easter Island statues. We may have not played it well in the beginning, but we knew through hard work and determination that this song would be out of this world. Now let it be my honor and present to you First Son.
Our next piece for tonight is Fanfare and Triumph, composed by James Swearingen. It is a majestic piece which uses both quick, precise rhythms and slow, harmonious passages to craft a truly unique sound. So after hours of preparation and hard work, we hope you enjoy Fanfare and Triumph.
I think you can all agree that they made us very proud on December 2nd at the University of Akron with that type of a performance. How about another round of applause for that awesome 8th grade band? We were very proud of the kids that day. And, you know, not only did they sound great, but sometimes more importantly than playing music was how well behaved they were. I have to share a story with you. The 8th grade parents, I think I shared this with you in an email that I sent home, but for the 7th grade parents, we stuck around at Akron that day. We listened to the University of Akron Symphonic Band. We went and ate lunch after our performance, came back and heard the university band. And the hall was pretty full. And so some of our students were sitting in the back of the hall, but we had some students who could only find seats right at the very front of the auditorium. So they were sitting within the first 2 rows or so of the auditorium. After the performance, I had some wives of the Band Director Hall of Fame members who were at the performance. All the band directors, they induct a new Hall of Fame member each year, and they had about 18 or 19 in attendance that day. And these 2 wives came up to me afterwards and said, you know what, I just wanted to let you know how awesome your kids behaved during the concert. They weren't talking, they weren't playing on their cell phones, they weren't kicking and hitting each other, and they were just so impressed by 8th graders behaving like that. So you guys make all of us proud in Canfield. Every time we take you out in public, that's awesome to see. Keep up the great work. There are 2 students in the 8th grade band I need to recognize who were also part of the OMEA District 5 Honors Band. And when I call off their names, I would like them to please stand, and we can give these 2 young musicians a round of applause for their great efforts, Ray Burnett and Samantha Shekaloff. Just a couple announcements before we play our last tune. You know we're in the middle of our Save Around coupon book sale. I've been sending home some emails for that. That fundraiser for the coupon book wraps up on Monday, December 18th. So if you could please have your child either return order forms and money for any books that they're going to be selling, or the unsold book, if you're not going to be using it, please have them return that by Monday, December 18th. At the end of tonight's concert, as you leave the auditorium, there's going to be some high school students, those great-looking high school kids who are passing out programs to you on the way in. They're going to be standing there on the way out. And if you would like to donate to our sheet music fund, we would greatly appreciate that. That helps us provide some extra money to keep providing new music for the kids and new sheet music for the kids to play. So if you'd like to give to that fund, please do. And I always want to take just a moment just to recognize our paraprofessionals, because this is being a band director is like a full-time, 24/7, 365-day job thing. It seems like it never ends between marching band and high school duties and all of our summer commitments, and then we roll right into the school year. And we have a wonderful paraprofessional staff that comes in and works with the kids. Some of them are probably in the audience this evening, some are not, but I'd just like to mention their names, and then if we could give them a round of applause at the end. We have Mr. Colella, comes in and works with our clarinets. Mr. Rollo works with our trumpets, and Mr. Drevna works with our percussion section in grades 7 and 8. So I want a round of applause for those gentlemen. And a real special thank you to Mr. Fay. As you all know, Mr. Fay teaches at C.H. Campbell. He comes up on Mondays during the school day to work with grades 5 and 6 low brass, but he has been coming up this school year on Monday afternoons after school to work with our 3 8th grade tuba players who sound amazing over there. They are fantastic tuba players. And how about a nice round of applause for Mr. Fay for helping out. And then I know most of you probably know Mr. Kelly, our high school band director, but I want him to come out so you can see his face, especially 7th grade parents. You may not know Mr. Kelly. The 8th grade parents do because you probably came to the game on September 22nd and saw him. But Mr. Kelly, if you'd please come out here. He is our high school band director, so 7th graders in a couple years. When you move up to 9th grade, this will be your band director here. Mr. Kelly, thanks for everything you do. All right, the last group of thank yous are to Mr. Flood, our assistant principal who was at last night's concert, and Mr. Rubin, our principal at the middle school, who I know is here this evening, and thank you for all your support, and the administration for allowing music to keep happening in schools, because this is a great thing. This is something these kids are going to take with them the rest of their lives. Hopefully they will play through high school and into college, maybe in a marching band, or at an NCAA tournament game. You know how you always see the bands sitting right underneath the hoop at the NCAA games? 99% of the times, those are non-music majors in those type of ensembles. So if these kids keep playing, there's lots of opportunities after 8th grade and then after high school. They need to stay in through high school. It's a great, great band family we have here. So Mr. Rubin, thanks for all you do and help supporting us. And I want to thank all the parents who brought in cookies, brownies, whatever desserts you brought in this evening. As you know, we're going to have a reception afterwards. It was really well attended last night by the 5th and 6th graders. I think somebody said, I don't know how many cookies were out there, 400 cookies, and they went through them like in 20 minutes. Of course, those 5th and 6th graders, they're right over that stuff. So I want to invite you all to stick around for the reception. We'll have a great time mingling out there and telling stories, whatever, and it's the season to just hang out and be merry. So please stick around for the reception. The last song we're going to play for you, we learned this one in about 3 days, actually. And the cool thing is we took this arrangement, which was kind of watered down for Jingle Bell Rock, and the kids kept playing rhythms the way they were used to hearing it. So we kept making edit after edit after edit, all the way up until yesterday afternoon. We made our last edit yesterday, and so this tune is actually arranged by Michael Sweeney, but it has now been adapted by the Canfield Village Middle School 8th grade band, and here is their rendition of Jingle Bell Rock. We have some more Santa helpers here in the 8th grade band, just like we did with the 7th grade band. We kind of like these sleigh bells.